Alright, we're gonna start with the national anthem. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. That works too. That works too. So that was the Japanese national anthem. For those who are wondering. Hello, my name is Sasiago. Then you're watching 3 a.m. Thoughts. Or if you're listening on Spotify, you are listening to 3 a.m. Thoughts. I'm here with a special guest today. His name is Blackberry Panda.
Hoorah, hiya, and oya, cause pandas are great.
Hell yeah. So what are we talking about today, Mr. Panda?
So I've got an extra special one set up for you clowns today. Cause I feel like we ain't spreading enough love in the world. I think we got a lot of hate in our hearts. So let's cover some of the best things that everyone needs in their life. Good and bad relationship advice.
Yeah. Ah, yes, relationship advice. Now, here's the biggest thing I see with today's society. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a horny motherfucker, so so whenever I see a pretty girl on the street, especially if she's got big titties and she's got that blonde hair and blue eyes, don't call me a Nazi bitch, please. Now, I'm gonna be super attracted to her. Now, I'm gonna want to do all kinds of naughty things to her. But will I have a relationship with her? If she matches me personality-wise, yes. Because that's the thing. We got our preferences. You know, you can like them thick, you can like them skinny, you can like them black and white, blonde and brunette. It doesn't matter. Hell, in today's society, you can even like them if they're a guy or a girl or somewhere in between. It don't even matter. You know? We all got our preferences, but what really matters is the person themselves. Now, I got quite a story, I'll get into it later about this, but you gotta make sure you can vibe with this person, you know, gotta make sure this is someone who you can see yourself growing with, you know, somebody who you can actually live life, you know, actually develop with, you know, because you're trying to develop a relationship here, a relationship that's trying to go on to marriage, you know, and that's the end goal. Actually, that's like the beginning of a new chapter. So don't even think about it as an end goal. You're trying to get to a new chapter of life, you know. So you got to be able to do that with this person. So even if they don't match up to your preferences physically, if they can connect with you spiritually and on the other spiritual plane, I think you're gonna be all right, you know. Because as much as I would love to marry a blonde girl, probably not gonna happen. But I'll probably end up with a really thick brunette girl with tiny titties but thick thighs, and she's gonna love everything I love, and we're gonna love each other for it. Amen.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
My personal preference, short, a little thick on the side, with some nice juicy thighs. I wouldn't mind some double D's on her, but it ain't too bad that they ain't too small either. But brother, let me tell you this, the thicker, the better. I'm a tall man, skinny man. But boy, best believe I got some compact muscle in every bone in my body. I can't handle these darn thin, skinny women now. Too thin, break too easy. Like a thin crust pizza with no sauce or cheese. Just bread.
Damn, this is snapping like a twig.
Mm-hmm. They can't withstand nothing. They can't stand all this black goodness now. Blackberry Panda, pound like a pouncer, rattle like a rattlesnake, and slam like a gorilla on a Cherokee drum. Now to some of you cool cats out there, y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but it don't really matter right now. All that matters is that you love somebody or you love yourself. Well, best believe if you don't love yourself first, you ain't gonna get nowhere in any or all relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an important factor too. You know, a lot of people, you know, such as myself at one point, you know, we want to fill a certain hole in our hearts. Now, there's two things well, really three things that hole in our hearts can be filled with. One is God, the other is somebody else, and the third is food. But that's for some people. For most of us, we've got those two main holes in our hearts, you know. We got that spiritual hole for God, and then we got the relational hole for other people. Now, it could be it could be for romance. You know, you could want to have an everlasting relationship with someone, and that could fill that hole in your heart. Or you could even have a really good relationship with a buddy. Yeah, so that was our landlord there. So we got about 65 more minutes. But anyways, I don't even know if the microphone even can cover. What? Oh God! I think she took another slice. Man, first Pumbaa, now this. Oh, whoa, hot damn. Anyways, as I was saying about the holes in the hearts, don't think of it in that way. But
I think there's a time when the holes in the hearts do kind of have to intersect at some point. So, if as long as we're not mixing the holes in the hearts as the same thing, I think it's okay to bring up the holes in the hearts in the same conversation. Because I think you're a bit more of a whole expertise than I am a heart expertise. I'm just saying. So I think if you brought up the holes and I brought up the hearts and we explained it one after the other, they might understand. So you might want to start off with the holes first.
You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So an important thing is, and I would suggest heavily, and I do mean ever so heavily, like Uncle Larry and his fat self, heavily. If you're gonna go home run with this girl, you're gonna go all the way. Stick the peanut in the peanut hole. Please make sure that y'all know each other really well. That you've been together thick and thin, and that you guys are not just engaged, but you're married. Because the good word says that sex is for the married folk, and for good reason too. There's a lot of spiritual stuff that goes on in there, a lot of spiritual intersecting, as well as a lot of physical intersecting, if you catch my drift. And that's an important thing. We got these holes in our hearts that are supposed to be filled with God and other people, but we also got these holes on our bodies. Now, there's many kinds of holes we can use, but there's one specific hole. There's a couple specific holes we're gonna mention here. So, when you stick the peanut into the peanut hole, it's important to understand that you're committing with this person. Even if you're just doing this to have fun or whatever, you gotta remember, the moment you stick it in there, it's a commitment. Because what if you're wearing a rubber, that rubber breaks and you have a child, or a child starts developing, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kill it? Are you gonna go through with it? Or are you gonna let it live, pay child support? Or are you gonna be this child's father? And you gotta ask yourself these questions, and you gotta be prepared for this shit, man, because this is commitment right here. This is real serious shit. Like the good word says is that when we commit to something, we gotta go all the way with it, and that's what marriage is. That's what God created it for, because literally it's a lifetime commitment. It's kind of like God's covenant with us. He sent Jesus Christ down on the cross so we may have an everlasting, life in Him, for Him, with Him. And that's how we gotta be, when we're with our significant other. Marriage is not something, we're married for a year and then we're just gonna divorce and you're gonna take half my shit and I'm gonna go sit in the corner and cry. No, marriage is a lifetime. Like, I cannot stress this enough. It's a commitment. It's real love. It's not just all those good, juicy feelings. It's not just the feeling of endorphins and all the oxytocin that's releasing when you finally jizz inside of her. No, it's not just all that. It's the good times. It's the bad times. It's the thick and the thin. Oh my God, I cannot stress this enough. It's for in sickness and in health, for the good and the bad. Do you take this bride as your lawfully wedded bride? Yes, I do. And I'll do so wholeheartedly.
Speaking of heart, and I like how we ended it with the wholeheartedly. I'm going to start with you. Good setup for me. Because wholeheartedly, what do y'all think that means? Y'all got a partner listening to this with you right now? I'd like y'all to give a minute to give them a little, what's the word? Example even of what you think wholeheartedly means. 100%, 110%. Really and truly, if you really want to think about it in a relationship standpoint, it's 50-50 or 100 to 100. Y'all gotta match each other. she does something for you, you do something for her. It's a matter of showing that you care, saying you care, and doing it in a love language that y'all can both understand. If y'all have different religions, y'all might want to date someone in the same religion. If y'all got unique differences, y'all gotta find some way to compromise. You can't live in a relationship and get everything you want and she gets nothing. Same thing with the guys and the girls, vice versa. Ladies, if you want your man to be happy and give you what you want, you gotta give him what he wants. Give him a little heart, give him a little love, show him the softer side. Don't be nagging on him all day. Come on now. You think a guy wanna go outside, work real hard, and then gotta come home nagging? Gotta come home to, oh, you didn't do this yesterday. You forgot to take out the trash yesterday. You forgot to do this yesterday. It's yesterday. Give him a minute to rest. He's been working hard yesterday. He was working hard today, I'm sure. If he's a lazy bum, drop him. Men, same thing with your girl. If she's just a pretty face that sits around your house eating up all your food, hey, drop her. I don't see a point in doing this. You shouldn't push yourself harder than you need to be pushed. It ain't fair. You gotta love yourself before you love somebody else. It ain't cool. Because you hurting yourself when you love somebody else more than you love yourself. I did the same thing to myself. It ain't cool. It ain't fair. It ain't fun. So I do it. You gotta love yourself. You gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You can't be comfortable but in pain. Who does that? Why torture yourself? If you're into that, then you're into that. That's cool. But to most of you cool cats out there, I don't think y'all into that. I don't think you are. Because I can see it on your face. Because I don't know if you know me, but you got pandas walking around your house. You got lizards walking around your house. You got demons. You got problems walking around your house. Your house is supposed to be a safe space. There's 2 times when you're going to be comfortable and calm. In your house and in your grave. Now, I got this really nice quote from a John Wick movie. A man's gonna look good for 2 times in his life. When he's married and when he's buried. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I'm gonna look pretty good the rest of my life. When I love myself when I'm single. Now, some of you men saying, amen, brother, but how many of y'all really acting on it? How many of y'all really showing that you love yourself? How many of y'all wear a smile on y'all's face every day when your boss cuss you out? Telling you did a shit job at your job. Said you didn't do enough time. Said you didn't do enough overtime. Didn't do enough work. How many of y'all can really look me in my eyes and say, hey, I love myself even though I had a shit day. And my girl backing me up on it. Because I think some of y'all got that girl that just does everything you need, but nothing that you want. Which is fine and dandy. Sometimes you just need what you need and you don't get what you want. Sometimes it's necessary, but you gotta have that balance. You gotta get what you want and some of what you need. Or no, my bad, flip it. You get all of what you need, but some of what you want. And you give and take the same as you receive. So you can't just give her a fancy 5-star dinner, but get some half-ass sloppy head. Because to some degree, I think men can agree that some of your heart goes into a blowjob. Because some of us are just like that. Now, I'm a man of very cream and pristine principles. I think some sexual activities and some suggestive language goes a long way in a relationship. You can blue ball a man all day long, but until you act on it and prove that you are of that character, you can't just say, oh, I'll do it next time. Oh, I'll do it next time. No. You got time today. You got 5 minutes. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Because it ain't cool. It ain't cool. It ain't cool to say one thing and act on another. That shows you don't care. Even if you say you care, you have to show that you care. And this goes for friendships, relationships, all that. You can't say one thing but act on another. You can't complain but then act like it didn't matter at the start of it. That ain't cool. That ain't fair. You're confusing someone at that point. This goes for guys and girls. And I know both of y'all do it. I've seen both of y'all do it. I've been probably right next to y'all when some of y'all doing it. I've been looking at y'all fighting in the streets. Why? Is it really that bad? Is it really that worth it to beat someone up? To beat someone to like cinder blocks and just the brink of it? Like what's you doing at that point? That's just violence. You're just angry. That'll pass. Come on, chill out. Take a chill pill a little. Talk it out. You might get a little farther in your relationship that way. So some of you people who think you just whack on someone just because you feel like it, hey, someone's gonna whack on you a little harder, and you ain't gonna get up. I'm just saying. Not to really turn this into a rant or an argument, but like why? Ain't no point. Ain't no benefit. You ain't gonna get what you want. Cause then you just all you got then is fear. That ain't love. You just frightful. Either you're scared or they scared. Y'all probably both scared of each other. You scared she gonna leave you? She's scared you're gonna hit her again. What you get out of that? None. I'm telling you, 50-50, 100 to 100. She wants to give 110 in y'all's relationship. Well, you better be right there with her trying to top her. It's good to be in a relationship, but y'all, it has to be a competition or rivalry. You can't just let her beat you. Why? What benefits you get out of that? That ain't cool. That ain't fair. Come on now. Think about it.
Hey, man. Some nice words of encouragement we got over here. Now, here's something else you gotta realize with the whole, giving 50-50, 100-100, you know, so it's important that, you know, you make sure you're equally yoked. Now, the Bible says a lot about being equally yoked. I believe it's more specifically geared towards, being equally yoked in the spirit. You know, if she's like this amount, why am I saying this amount? You can't even see where my hand is. But if she's right here and you're down here, you know, either you bring yourself up to her level, or you find someone else who's on your same level and build up from there. You know, but. Let's see, but even if it's not just the spiritual, you know, let's just say it's, just the amount of effort that we put in, you know, it's the mindset, you know, it's the amount of love we have for each other as well as ourselves, you know, you gotta be equally yoked, you know, if you can't love yourself, how can you expect for you to love somebody else, you know, and I've learned this the hard way, through and through, because you know what, there was a time in my life where I was pretty lonely. I was pretty desperate. I was so in this state of negativity that I just felt that I couldn't, I couldn't love myself unless I loved somebody else, which is a horrible mindset. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. In fact, negative 10 out of 10 do not recommend. Don't you dare think about this. And brother, if you feel like this, get with your pals, get with your friends. You know, form some bonds. You know, start being accountable for each other, because us guys, you know, we like to be these stoic, really strong pillars of strength, and we live in a society with expectations that we have to show no weaknesses. But the thing is that we're not God. We're humans. You know, we humans have flaws. We humans have weaknesses, and most of the times, you know, it's not really that okay to display those weaknesses. Otherwise, you're going to be seen as a weak man, or people are not going to take you seriously. But you got to realize that, yes, we have our faults, we have our downsides, we have our weaknesses, and we got to get with trusted loved ones, and talk about these kind of things. You know, get together, you know, open up, and you can even do this with your significant other as well. And actually, it's a required thing actually for growth, for just getting even closer together. You know, for combining your two hearts into one. You know, and so there's this time in my life where I was down in the dumps. You know, I couldn't have any love for myself, so I asked this girl out of nowhere. You know, because I was thinking, you know what? She's not the best looking. She's about like a 4.5 out of 10 at the very best, you know. But she looked cute enough, and she didn't look like she would instantly reject me. So I thought, you know what? I'm desperate. She's pretty new into the workplace. Let's go ahead and ask her out. So in the most awkward fucking way possible, I asked her out, and it was a shit show. It was a shit show. So And so she didn't have any actual interest in me at first, but then after she got rejected from a guy that she was into, you know, we kind of just got together out of pity. You know, it was not good. You know, we were not equally yoked. You know, we were both, yeah, I mean, we were both equally empty and desperate. But let me tell you what, freaking desperation is not a good thing. I've seen it time and time again. Desperation is all. It's the bane of man's existence. It's the bane of relationships. Don't do that. But anyway, so freaking. And speaking of being equally yoked, you know, having 50-50, 100-100, bro, I was only there for like the good feeling of, oh, she said we're official. I finally have a girlfriend now. Yay! I am happy. My serotonin, my oxytocin, my dopamine is all going off at the same time for 10 minutes. And then for the rest of the 11 months of our relationship, it was absolute hell. Like, let me tell you. Oh my god. So I was forcing the relationship to work because I was downplaying who I was personally to make sure that things were peaceful between me and her. Because you gotta remember, we were co-workers. So I know that if I just broke up with her, or if I did anything negative in the relationship, you know, she would be there I would see her at work the next day. And she would and because, you know, she would be the kind of talk a lot of smack about folk, because oh my god, one thing that annoyed me a lot about her was the fact that she loved work drama. Let me tell you, if I did anything wrong, she would definitely get to every single co-worker and every single worker period in that break room. And oh, it would have been bad. So I had to be very strategic on how I would break up with her. Thankfully, I got to that point, but that's for later on. So, yeah, like, it was just, it was rough. It was hard, because, like, I had no other actual interest in her as a relationship. Like, we started, there was a period before we made it official. We were friends, and yeah, as friends, you know, we were okay. We were good. Like, we had a decent relationship as friends. But when it came to more than that, you can tell it was just built off of, I don't want to say lies, but it was just built off of a false gratification of trying to fill a hole in our hearts that we wouldn't be able to fill with ourselves. We were just trying to force it to work, you know, just so we wouldn't be alone. Just try to overcome fears of desperation, loneliness, and just being rejected.
See, and this is what I'm talking about having that loving yourself and not just kind of like loving someone else. That seems to be where the error was here. Cause desperation. Yeah, you can be desperate, but you need to get past being desperate before you can get into a relationship. Because if you're desperate, it's because you're not loving yourself. There's a hole in your heart because you're not loving yourself. You gotta love yourself. I'm gonna say it probably a lot more times as this story continues. But you gotta love yourself. It seems to be the mistake. It's been my mistake too. I've had 9 or so relationships, probably maybe more. 9 or so relationships, well, 9 serious relationships that I thought I could handle because I loved them so much. But I never loved myself, so they all fell. And I got real close with this one, and even that fell. But I'll talk about that when my homie here finishes his story.
Yeah, so yeah, again, we had holes in our hearts that couldn't be really filled, not with each other. We should have filled it with ourselves first, so we can learn to love each other. It probably would have made things work maybe a little better, but honestly, we were just two completely different specimens, you know, completely of fruits of completely different trees. You know, I was a lemon, she was a freaking pineapple. You know, it was a whole different thing. You know, we had different mindsets on things. We had different viewpoints. You know, that's not really the important thing, but how we went about like wanting to see our future. You know, we had completely different outlooks. You know, we just couldn't vibe in any real way. In fact, it was so bad that, you know, here's my expectation for when you have a significant other. If you're dating somebody and you truly actually like love them and want to be with them, you should like literally want to be with them over being with your even your bestest of friends, or being even like, or even if you go out of your house a lot, like if you're still living with your parents and you go out of the house a lot, you should really want to be with them more than them too, because this is the person that you're wanting to spend the rest of your life with. You know, you're gonna end up living in the same house and having your own family anyways. So this person, it should be somebody you really want to like always have any kind of excuse in the book to be with, no matter what. You know, we have a friend like that actually who is always with his girlfriend. You know, yeah, we do miss him hanging out with the main group. But you know what though? I mean, I'm glad that he's spending a lot of time with this girl, because he literally wants to marry her someday. So yeah, like I give him props for that. I'm not mad. I'm not disappointed. I'm literally proud of him, if anything. But with this girl, man, I wanted every excuse in the book to not be with her. So like not like be around her, go to her house, because there was a time where I had I dedicated one of my off days specifically just for her. You know, I still had 2 other off days where I would hang out with my friends, and this one day in the middle of the week, freaking I would go to her house and spend the whole day with her. Only problem was that I dreaded it. I absolutely dreaded it. I'm like, this is the one day off where I wish I would have went to work instead. Like, Jesus Christ, I couldn't do this. Cause like, again, we just couldn't vibe. We matched nothing personal wise. All she wanted to do was talk about work drama and then be anxious about school, and I wasn't having any of that. I didn't really care, to be honest with you. Which is another important thing in a relationship. You have to either make yourself care, or you better make sure you're going to care, because that's going to be really important later down the line. I really didn't want this relationship to go any further than it really could, so I just wasn't really having it. But anyways, I really only went to her house whenever like I would be hungry, because I'll give her this, you know, she could cook, being Mexican and all, she could really cook, you know, and she also had cats too, which at the time I didn't really like cats, but it was because I always would go to her house, I ended up liking cats. So I'm like, okay, well, she's got she can cook, she's got really cute cats, I'm starting to like cats now. And her parents watch a lot of Mexican TV, and there's a lot of hot Mexican girls on that TV. So I'm gonna go. You know, again, not the reasons at all I should be going over there. But I mean, hey, you know, it's how we can keep peace within a relationship. But it's just like what Blackberry Panda was saying earlier. You know, again, I was just having that fear of things going chaotic. You know, and she might have had a fear that I didn't want to be around her. You know, so when we're both living in fear, what do we have to gain? Absolutely nothing. You know, with me not wanting to break it off at that point, I wanted to break it off at that point in time, but again, I wanted things to be peaceful at the workplace, so I had to wait a specific time for that to happen. So after just like months of having to put up with this, almost a full goddamn year, like we're at the 11th month mark, and we have plans for 1 year anniversary. She's gonna take me up to Dallas to see her family. You know, I was gonna meet her, like all her aunts, uncles, her grandpas, and cousins and whatnot. And you know, it's gonna be this really big event. It was conflicting with some plans that I had made earlier that year, because there was an anime convention coming up, and I was like, damn. So you're telling me I'm having to ditch my buddies for your dumbass family? I mean, I didn't say this out loud, but I was like, God damn, I don't want to do this no more. Thankfully, there were a lot of things were lining up in place where. We had recently moved overnight, so I wasn't working with the same coworkers. So I was like, okay, well, I'm at a better position where if I break up with her now, you know, things aren't gonna be as bad. You know, there won't be so much chaos. You know, what do I got to lose? I'm around a bunch of new coworkers who I don't even talk to. And then secondly, and I was like, yeah, she's not liking this overnight shift. It's not gonna work out very long. You know, and then, you know, I started thinking about it. I started thinking about, like, when I'm going to cut my losses, because I was having to get over some fears. So I was like, okay, when am I going to let this go? When am I going to cut it off? And I was like, you know what? Just like how I abruptly started this train wreck of a relationship, I'm going to just abruptly end it. So I dropped her off home one morning after work, and she reached over to kiss me. And I told her, I want to break up. I can't do this anymore. If you need me to still take you for rides at work, I will, but I just can't do this anymore. I have to be honest with myself. I got to be honest with you. I just can't do this no more. So we ended it right there abruptly. And, you know, yeah, she started talking mess in the workplace. You know, started all these rumors about me. But because I wouldn't say anything, I wouldn't even be in the break room present, and people wouldn't really see me do anything. I wouldn't even get near her. Eventually, they started realizing that she was just fucking crazy. But the lesson we, to learn from here is the fact that you gotta be honest. Honesty, the truth, will set you free, and not just the truth of the word, but I'm talking about just the truth in general. It freed me from that relationship, but also it freed her too, because that's the thing you have to realize, that I realized at that point. You know, yeah, I felt that I was the one trapped in this relationship that I created myself, but the thing was that I trapped her too. Because when you're in a relationship, it's not just about you anymore. It's about the other person too. You have to think of them as an equal, you know. And so I'm over here crying about how my time is wasted, but I started feeling even worse because I wasted 11 months of her time, you know, and I wasted all those resources she made, all the food she made, all the thought and care she given for me. That probably was actually genuine, and I'm over here not really accepting it because we weren't on the same level. I wasn't on the same level of love that she had for me, and she wasn't on my same level of like interest and actually me being genuinely interested in her and whatnot. You know, it was a train wreck. It was just something that was going to fall apart eventually, naturally. But I wanted to end it. I wanted to end it like as soon as possible, just so nothing else could be wasted. Nothing else could just go on and mutate. You know, because I feel like if I would have went to that Dallas trip with her, things would have mutated even more. You know, I would have gotten into literal more deeper shit. You know, it would have been harder to get out. So I was like, yeah, I have to end it right here and there. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work. You know, and I remember just crying on my way home that morning. You know, because again, I was actually genuinely sad because I knew she loved me. You know, she wanted to be with me, but she didn't love me. She loved the person I was pretending to be. To make things work, and that just wasn't me. And again, it was the realization that I wasted 11 months of her time. It hurt me. It hurt me for a good long while. You know, and I even vowed for a good minute to just stay out of relationships, period, because I didn't know what I wanted for myself, and therefore I didn't want to just do it to anybody else ever again. It was a real bad time.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to another point that I'm glad he kind of like perfectly tuned into. Don't be afraid to cut a relationship when you feel like it can't be worked on. And first off, don't fake who you are. Be flat out from the start so we can cut the relationship off before it gets to that point. Because you don't want to spend, and I'm glad he cut it off after only 11 months, but most people don't. And I was in a relationship, and me and her were kind of going at it for, I'll say about 3, almost 4 years. Yeah, 3.5. I'll say 3.5, just to be really accurate as possible. I'll say 3.5 years. I did kind of the same thing he did, and I was genuine. I was true to myself. And she was too. But the issue was we weren't clicking in a really key point of trust. She would doubt that I loved her. I never did that to her. So, it made me doubt that the relationship was going to work. And when I started doubting it, she still kept coming at me with her doubt. She came at me with her doubt of love, and I started doubting myself because of it. And when she tackled on more doubt that I loved her, it collapsed. It broke the floor right underneath me, and I couldn't hold myself up anymore. And I kept trying to rear the relationship back on course, but it was just me and not us. Because she was causing the issue just a bit, and I kind of told it to her when she was like trying to get back with me. I was like, look, you kind of caused this on your own. And not only did you do that, you replaced me a couple weeks after I left. Like, I can't go back to you right now. And to be honest, it broke me for a really long time. I spent like so many nights just bawling my eyes out. My mom had to like keep comforting me day after day, like checking on me, seeing if I was okay, hugging me. Cause like, it was really, really a hard time for me. It was 3 years of my life I put into this chick. Anytime I see a girl that looks remotely like her, I think of her, and it makes me want to cry some more. Like, it's a traumatic thing. And I've had relationships where I just fake who I am as a person just to give myself an ego boost. And I don't really do it to be mean or nothing. And at some point, the relationship falls flat because of something else. But the fact of the matter is, don't fake who you are. Be true to yourself and make sure like you're open and honest. And flat out speaking the second you notice something going like wrong in a relationship. Because if you see a crack in your house, you don't just leave that there. Because that's going to break a pipe, that's going to bust something up in your house, and Lord knows, if there's an earthquake, I don't know if you live in a place with earthquakes, but I live in Texas where there's hurricanes, so odds are, a crack can break the whole house. Because the crack gets bigger when stuff starts hitting it from the tornadoes, and then the house is ripped asunder from the tornado, and then you have this huge mess. But all a tornado can start as, and I've seen some of them like start up, it's just a mix of cold and hot air. You have your cool, calm personality, this goes for men and women, and then you have this hot, steamy, dangerous problem, which is the exact opposite of this male or female that I'm speaking of currently, that's calm and cool. You mix the two together in a relationship, keyword, and it turns into a tornado or a hurricane and rips everything asunder. It tears both your lives apart. And it messes you up even worse mentally and physically. Some people are traumatized and can't go through relationships because of the stuff that happens. If you fake who you are for like years, they'll never trust again. It'll screw with who they are. And the fact of the matter is, like, I keep trying to date so I can like kind of like get a handle on like what I really do like. That's what my stepdad encouraged me to do. Like, don't date anyone less than you. If they can't keep up with who you are, leave them be. And for a minute, I was like, that seems kind of harsh. And then I dated women that weren't up to my level, and I was like, okay, so maybe my dad was right. I mean, I'm never gonna tell him that. Well, now I am gonna tell him that at some point, before he's on his deathbed, because he is getting kind of old. But I gotta admit one day, like, hey dad, like your advice really helped me. I didn't really listen to it until later in life, but it really did help me because I knew what to do and I knew the right answer. And when the time kind of came, like, oh, I don't know what to do. I can't find a good relationship. And then it just clicked with me that what my dad said was like, just date someone on your level, dude. Like, you don't gotta like date these like big girls that don't like wait on your car and stuff. Like, you really don't gotta do that. Like, date a girl that's fit, that looks good, that like even if she has like some kids and she still looks good, like date a girl like that. If you want to go for that, like run for that. Like, don't settle for less. This goes for guys and girls. Like, ladies, some of y'all girls like big dicks. Hey, more power to you. Go for that. But let's be honest here. Not every man with a magnum schlong is going to treat you the best. Some of them are wife beaters, some of them are abusers, and they have good things. Okay, you might want to settle for a few inches less. Men, don't let who you are as a person scare you into asking out that 10 out of 10, that 9 out of 10, that 8 out of 10. I have a friend, and I'm not going to tell you where I am currently, but I'll tell you where I used to live. I used to live in San Antonio, and I had a buddy who loved this girl who was an 8 out of 10. She was top 10 hottest chicks in school. I want to say she was maybe the 5th hottest chick I've ever seen in my life as a high schooler. And the fact of the matter was, this dude was butt fucking ugly. He had nothing appealing about him, and I'm saying that as his brother and as his crewmate. He was my homie. He was my bro. I know this man like the back of my hand and maybe my left butt cheek. But I'm gonna be straight with you. He was fugly. He was a fugly man. Nothing about him was appealing. And to be honest and truthful with you, I didn't know how to get him with this chick. But you want to know what I did? I walked up to the girl like I was all that, and I showed her a little bit of riz, and she was like, all right, I'm going to give your homie a chance. I'm going to talk to him. And you know what? They had a little conversation. They became friends. Like, I don't care if you think you're the most butt ugly person. I think homeless people can get relationships. You could be homeless, you could be poor, you could be broke, deadbeat, a mama's boy, and get a relationship. I was accused of being a mama's boy at one point because I wouldn't so much listen to my mother excessively. I would acknowledge what she would say to be potentially true. So first off, if you listen to your mom, you have my respect. Because I can't always do that, but I will acknowledge what she says to probably be true. Because 9 times out of 10, how long my mom's been alive, because she is at a fair age too, she's usually right. She might sound a little over-exaggerated, dramatic, and paranoid, but guys, sometimes, despite how ridiculous your mom might sound, she could be right. I know, you're thinking, oh, my mom could be right, blah, 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 I don't want to listen to that. Hey, don't listen to me. But if you don't want to listen to me, listen to your mom. Because she knows you well enough to know that you're steering in some kind of direction that leads you down wherever the heck she's talking about. And if you want to avoid it altogether, you have to acknowledge what she's saying. You gotta listen to it. Like, literally, go over her relationship experiences and see how bad it got. Because, to be truthful and honest with you, some of y'all might not even understand where people are coming from. And it can result in a lot of like mistakes. You can make the exact same mistake your parents do over you not listening to them, and that's kind of a really bad thing to do. Is like your parents have some kind of wisdom, even if they're like, I say, I don't want to be like over dramatic or nothing, but deadbeat parents. I mean deadbeat parents, like they do nothing for you. They're not like teaching you nothing. They're not like helping you. You're just like a slave to them. I mean like that kind of deadbeat parent. Because to me, that's a deadbeat parent. If your parents are struggling and they're like taking care of you and like they can feed you a little bit, not my definition of a deadbeat parent. I'm gonna be straight with you. But I'm not trying to get too deep into that. But to be honest, like your parents should be able to teach you what you're doing, right and wrong. And when you get that level in a relationship, when you want to like have kids of your own, you need to learn from your parents how to be a better parent. Because my grandparents came from that age of child abuse wasn't a thing, so they beat their kids excessively. And my grandfather was honest about that. He was like, child abuse wasn't a thing when I was a kid, but like now if you beat your kids with a wooden paddle too hard and they have a bruise on their butt and they're bleeding a little bit, they're seen as a victim to the parent. They can take away my kid. And I'm like, well, why they gotta take away my kid? It's my kid. And from my perspective, I'm thinking to myself like, well, your first problem is child abuse. The second issue is the grown parents who went through child abuse are just learning about child abuse. Like you like, oh, this is normal. My dad beats me till I bleed all the time. And then they realize getting punched in the face and thrown up against walls like my stepdad was. Well, I don't know about punched in the face, but my stepdad's father not only threw him up against the wall for being, I think, late coming home or something. And then there was an occasion where he was also like taken outside the house, or he was forced out the house when he was getting chased by bullies, and he got like jumped by like 3 guys. Like 3 guys chased him home. He safely got in the house in time, and the 3 guys were waiting outside, like, yo, calling him out. What did my grandfather do to my dad? Took him right back outside to get his ass beat. I was like, what? I mean, I don't understand the scenario to where that makes sense, but I mean, I guess you learn not to take your troubles home with that. I mean, hey. Well, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to like learn how like what to do, what not to do in a relationship. Same as what not to do in like a marriage. Because truth be told, it's a level up when you go from being friends, being best friends, to dating. There's alterations to it. You have access to more things physically, but you have more responsibilities at the same time. And if you ignore the responsibilities in a relationship, from a friendship to a boyfriend-girlfriend, you're not going to understand the difference, and you're going to treat them like the same thing, but you can't. Because it's a lot more serious when it's a relationship. There's a lot of responsibilities, and I honestly feel like some of y'all people in relationships right now, and even some of you people that are single right now, y'all ain't ready for it. Y'all ain't ready for that smoke. Y'all in a burning building, like crawling all day, every day. when y'all ain't equipped for it. Y'all ain't no firefighter. Y'all can't handle relationships right now. Y'all gotta simmer down, like think about it, like even study relationships, like read a book on it or something. Read a book, watch some YouTube videos, something. I be watching YouTube videos on relationships to figure out like where my heart's at. Like, is there anything like I need to work on? Because truth be told, some of y'all just don't know what y'all are doing, and that's cool. That's cool. That's perfectly fine. Y'all don't need to know everything. Y'all ain't. Y'all. I mean, some of y'all are probably really young listening to this. I'm sure but some of y'all are probably really old, knowing exactly what to do, and y'all probably know more than me. Y'all should be making a podcast, so you know everything. True, but I'm gonna stay with you. Like, it's a work in progress to be in a relationship. So, be lenient, but not always forgiving of what happens in a relationship. If they're doing it repeatedly, back to back to back, and they're not showing any progress, and they're not being very vocal of like, hey, I'm trying to be better. Like, please give me another chance. And you don't see it, you might want to consider that they might not actually be trying all that hard. Because truth be told, people can say something, but not act on it. And then the truth is, they're just not trying. They mentally feel like they're trying, because they're thinking about it and trying it, but they're failing at it. Yeah, that's one thing. But I'd at least need to see it to believe it and understand that you're trying. You can't just say that you're trying and then, like, I believe it. Like, if I'm trying to get off the couch and I lift my feet up, fling myself forward, and then slam my back on the back of the chair. Yeah, I tried and failed. But if I want to get up out the seat, I need to get up and out the seat. There needs to be some level of success and repetition. If you really want to do something in a relationship, if you really want to be with this person for a long time, you have to be honest. You have to be straight up from the front, from the get-go. If they're not for you, they will say no. Especially if you're upfront and honest. If you're gonna be fake about it, they're gonna give you a fake relationship. And then you're stuck on that for who knows how long. And then if you get married because you're being fake when you don't want to be married, then you're screwed. Because then you're stuck with this person, and like homeboy over here said, they're gonna get half of your stuff taken when you want to get out. So it's good to experiment when you're dating, when you have friendships. Because you can take your friendships and take the best things of your friendships that you could probably put that are like really intimate moments from friendships and put them in relationships. And it makes that really sweet, soft, I want to say like honey. It's like honey almost. It's that sticky sweetness, that golden glow of y'all's relationship. And it's from the best intimate moment from your friendship. That makes it really easy. It's easy to have something like sex. Like bumping uglies, that's simple. That's really simple. 20-minute, maybe a couple hours process. And then it's like, oh, well, we spent the day together, yay. And then y'all can just up and leave. That's not intimacy. That's not love. Like, you gotta bring God into y'all's relationship if y'all believe in the same thing. Y'all gotta bring some kind of religion into it if y'all believe in anything. And if you don't believe in anything, figure out something to do that y'all both like. And y'all can do it again and again and again. And hey, to some of y'all who don't have money, go for a walk. Exercise together. There's lots and lots of activities to where you don't need money. It's really, really easy to just do something together. Go on a double date. I had some friends go on a double date recently. You want to know what my buddy did when he came back from that double date? He was calling me about the double date. They sent me pictures from the double date. I was like, I'm jealous, yeah, because I'm single and lonely and bored, over here working and going home to sleep. But you know what? I'm happy for them. Not trying to be a third wheel, or a fifth wheel in that case. But I'm happy for them. Because they know what they're doing. They're doing unique stuff. They're doing fun stuff. Exotic activities will spice up your relationship very, very heavily. For like, I want to say maybe the first year, go on like maybe once a month. Once a month, do something unique. Go somewhere special. You don't to some of you guys with no money, go to McDonald's. Do something cheap. So some of you guys with a budget and y'all are tight on y'all's budget, do the same thing. Make it clear at the start of the relationship, hey, I have little to no money. We cannot do, I don't know a 5-star restaurant, so I'm going to say Golden Corral like that's a 5-star restaurant. hey, we can't go to Golden Corral 5 times a week. Hey, we can't go to Texas Roadhouse 5 times a week. We can't do that. We can't even go 2 times a week. We can maybe go once a month. Once a month, Texas Roadhouse. And that's if you cuddle with me afterwards with no clothes on. I feel like you can set conditions like that because it's your relationship. You're being honest from the start. If they know you well enough, they should not say no. They should say yes. And if they're going to say no, and you've been fake this whole time, you need to be honest and say, this is what I want, and I'm not going to bend on this. If it's that big of a deal. And if it breaks the relationship, it breaks the relationship. In my opinion, I think it's kind of a reasonable thing. You take her to a nice spot, don't get her cuddle with no clothes on, and potentially fuck a lot. And I think that's kind of a benefit. I think that's kind of a plus. Some people say no. You gotta make them earn it. You gotta make them wait for it. You could, but not really. Cause if you make them wait, they're gonna get bored. Then they're not gonna really care anymore. And then it's just gonna be this really awkward thing of just no sex. You don't want to have sex because it's like, oh, we're both like not inexperienced, or oh, I'm too experienced. He's gonna know I'm a hoe. And then you got like, yada yada, blah blah blah. My dick's too big. She's gonna be terrified again, just like my ex. Like, and to be honest, like, just kind of like be upfront and honest at the start. Just be like, hey, this and this is wrong with me. Are you sure you want to date me? Like, I really feel like guys and girls both need to do this. Y'all need to make it very clear what is wrong with you, mentally, physically, any kind of like thing that like someone else has like disliked you for. Say it. Because if they really, really like you, they're going to say, despite all the stuff you just listed, I really want to see how far this relationship can go. And that's how you really and truly can tell someone loves you. Because the fact of the matter is, the only person I've ever met in my life as a female that has ever been like, hey, despite everything that's wrong with you, I'll still care about you at the end of it, is my mom. Really and truly. And that's why I'm staying single right now. Because I'm waiting for that person that I can just spot in like the darkest of night, wants to be with me despite how like absolutely uncontrollably insane I am. I am a crazy psychopath at the end of the day. My friends like it for some strange reason. I think they just have a weird thing for serial killers. Not like I'd hurt anybody, because I hate the sight of blood, which is another thing that bothers me. Because a lot of these people bleed a lot. They always have cuts on them, for whatever reason. They work stuff. They have avalanches of boxes hitting them, like my homie here. And I'm just like, stop getting cut. It makes me want to vomit. I'm going to literally lose my McDonald's lunch on you. And then we're both going to be unhappy. Now mind you, nothing wrong with working hard. I'm just saying. And nothing wrong with not working at all. Because some people just can't find work. I have another friend like that too. But you have to acknowledge your flaws before you get into a relationship. Because if your girlfriend finds your flaws when they're in a relationship after y'all's friendship, well, actually no, you should have a decent 1-year friendship before y'all get into a relationship. But y'all should really like experiment with that really, really hard. And it would be just something you can like come out the gate for. Because if you come out the gate wanting a relationship, you're not gonna get it. Not gonna get it. No matter what. Like, if y'all are strangers asking for a relationship, never works. I haven't seen it work once. Y'all have to be friends for a good while. 1-2 years. I really think 1 year is a really good, like, solid number. So I'm really leaning on 1 year for this. Give it 1 year. Give it 1 year, and if it works for friends, it might work as a relationship. If it doesn't, then it wasn't meant to work at the beginning. And that's just kind of how it is. Just saying. Just kind of something to consider and like kind of fiddle with for a bit. Because I don't really see how you can go from strangers to a relationship and that just kind of go all the way to whatever y'all want it to be. Because y'all gotta have that 50-50, 100-100 mindset of I have to give her what she gives me. And just because I don't like the love that she shows me doesn't mean, well, no, actually, you could kind of learn each other's love language. Some people like to feel physical touch as their love language. There's like 5 or 6, I think. different kinds of love language. So y'all might want to actually like think about like what kind of affection do you show and what kind of affection do they like. Because if you're not connecting on that point, that's where like that's where another piece of compromise comes in. I'm telling you, in a relationship, compromise. Doesn't matter if you want to do it. Do it because your partner likes to do it. That's how I am with my friends even. There's stuff I don't like doing too often that I'll do for my friends. Just because they like doing it and I want to see them happy. I like seeing my friends smile. It almost brings me to cry every time I see a smile on their faces. It's really stupid to say that, but not really. Because y'all feel the same way. It's a sense of... It's spreading joy almost. It's a sense of... it's a chemical, I think, dopamine? Is dopamine for happiness? You would know.
Yeah, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin.
Yeah, all those nice body chemicals. Like, that's what I get from people smiling. Which is why I like to smile so much, despite how my teeth have an overbite and my teeth are fucked. And my teeth are usually yellow because I don't brush them hard enough. But I'm working on that. And in fact of the matter, just really and truly is, despite how fugly I am, I've had 9 relationships. Clearly, I'm a very attractive male, which I really think is because of my height and I'm black. And white, because I'm a panda. And in fact of the matter, really and truly just is, they just find me attractive because they can see my personality. Because I'm upfront and honest. I'm an extrovert. I like to just show people who I am from the start. And I really just stick with that from the get-go. And I get really nervous and shy in relationships. So as much of an extrovert as I may be, I don't show all of it in the relationship. So yeah, y'all gotta work on that, man. Y'all gotta like cut out that fake mask y'all got on. Be upfront from the start, man. Like, it'll benefit you in the long haul when you realize that all you have to do is be yourself. Because that's the only person you really can be. If you try being like everybody else, like, hey, I can't remember his name. I'm gonna say his name's Jimmy. Jimmy, yeah. So I had a really handsome friend named Jimmy. He was a dude, but he was super duper popular. People would mix me up for him for no reason, because his face was oval shaped. My face is like a circle. I'm a panda. And Jimmy over here is a whole I'm gonna say parakeet. He's a black parakeet. He's an all black parakeet, and people would mix me up for him because our names sounded similar. And for whatever reason, they would think that he was me and I was him. They would mix us up. But he was super duper popular no matter what he did. Anytime like he walked into any building, he'd get like a standing ovation from every girl in the room. They were like, oh my goodness, it's Jimmy, oh! And then I walked in right after, and then like I'd see a couple people clap, but then when people got to know me, I started getting popular. And I never changed my personality since I was little. I was a little shy, because like new people like freaked me out, but like I wasn't as shy as my sister was. So that kind of helped, because like she was shy, I wanted to be brave and like be the good big bro and just protect my sister from like whoever the heck the stranger was that my mom was shaking hands with. And really, like anyone in my family who was shaking hands with somebody that I didn't know, it was just protection, grr, Panda, grr. And the fact of the matter was just, I was always, despite how shy I was always upfront with people, because I felt like, despite how much I might like honestly do a lot of white lies, it was nothing too serious to where you can get mad at me for it. Like, if I was gonna lie to you, I'm gonna lie to you about like where your presents are. And in my relationships, I've had to do that because they'll search my house. Like, I've had girlfriends tear apart my room, despite how organized I am, and I hate it. They'll tear apart my room, looking for their birthday gifts, looking for their presents, looking for our anniversary gifts, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's not even in the stinking house. Stop. Oh, so it's in the garage. That's in the house. Stop. Like you're looking for something that's not even here. Like, if anything, I'd hide it in your house, and I didn't even do that this time. Oh, so that's where you hid my birthday gift last year. Yes! And you didn't even know because you didn't even look in your closet, the one place you like to go in. And it was right there on the ceiling. How did you not see it? I don't know. I thought it was too obvious. But apparently it worked. So yay. Yay for me. So yeah. Also, yeah, while I did bring it up by accident, I am going to bring this up too. Anniversaries. They're very important. I swear if you forget, you are going to be bitched at, whipped, and complained about for the rest of your natural life as long as you're with this chick. And probably any other chick as long as you don't learn your lesson to not forget a stinking anniversary. Yes, I know you're not married, you don't have to celebrate the anniversary, but it's kind of a big deal for them. 1 month anniversary, half a year anniversary, a whole year anniversary. Make a date when you decide to date this chick. Set it up and make sure you stick with that date. Cause they like to be worshipped and remembered. It's how girls are. They like being treated like princesses and goddesses. I don't understand it. I'm not gonna pretend like I understand it. Cause in all honesty and truth, I don't really care that much. All I know is that I can understand, kind of, sort of, not really, that I like to be praised. Not really. I hate it. I really do hate it. And here's why. Because it gives me an inflated ego for something I didn't do that good on. If I could do a flip and I fall on my ass, that's not something I should be praised for just because I tried to do it. I should be praised when I succeed. I don't like that. Now women, praise them for everything they'll do. They will love you forever. And ever and ever and ever. They like to hear that they did something good. Some women are different, so you might want to learn about like your girl. So talking about a multitude of things, whether you like it or not, is going to save you a lot of trouble. It could be anything, like literally look up conversation topics like I had to, just to talk to them. Because I would talk about the weather with one of my exes after about 3 years of dating. And I would just be an old man about it. I'd be like, oh, the weather's so nice today. It makes my skin feel all dry and crusty, though. It's kind of annoying. Babe, can you sit on my face later to block out the sun and moisturize my face? You will? Well, gee, Willie, as I look, babe, and then I kiss her on the mouth for like half an hour. And then she'd sit on my face for like another half hour. And then that was my day with my ex. So yeah, I mean, don't be honest. Be truthful. Be honest with yourself. Don't jump. Now, what you have to do, and I think one of my friends is making this mistake right now, he jumps the gun a little too quick. I don't know how, I don't know why, but he jumps the gun. He really jumps in there. He jumps off the cliff into the deepest water he can find to see if it works. I have no idea how he succeeds in doing this so quickly. Because it's flopped every time he's tried it. So whatever you do, don't overwhelm them. Start piece by piece. They need to learn about you day after day. You give them a new piece of information every time you see them. Well, not every time you see them, if you see them multiple times a day. But every day even. Because I have a coworker I'm kind of interested in dating. And she's totally my type, actually. But she's short, cute. I have no idea she has a boyfriend, so we're going to figure that out later. And if we ever do a part 2 for this, I don't know how we would. But if we do a part 2 for this, I'll let you know how that goes. Or next time I'm on the podcast. A or B. But she's totally my type. She's short, cute, semi-thick, and hella intelligent. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but the first girl I dated, she was one of the smartest kids in the entire school. And this was, I believe, middle school. So that was kind of a big deal for me because I never really cared for relationships until I met her. And it was a big deal for me. I was like, man, how do I ask her out? I'm gonna take her to this tree out front because it was this one curved tree for whatever reason, and you could probably sit on it if you like hopped up on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take her to this tree. I'll be like, hey, Lizzie. Her name wasn't Lizzie, by the way, but I called her Lizzie because she reminded me of she had a similar name to the lizard from the Magic School. But I called her Lizzie. I was like, hey, Lizzie. I want to talk to you about something. Can you follow me for a minute? And I took her to the tree, and I asked her out. She freaked out super duper loud.
Oh.
She was screaming hysterically, spinning in circles, like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of sweating bullets now because now I'm about to get an answer. And I'm smiling because I'm thinking it might be a yes, but I'm freaking out and sweating bullets because it could totally be a no, because he's like, why did I get to reject the boy? No!
Oh no!
And I'm like, oh fuck! And then, luckily, she said, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm like, so is that a yes? Oh my gosh, yes! I'm like, oh fuck yeah! I fucking kicked off the tree, did a whole fucking spin move, and then like I almost fell in the road.
Oh.
So I almost died after my first relationship. It would have been totally worth it because fucking broke. When I tell you pandas don't get a lot of action in life, I really don't think y'all understand. Like, they have to make panda porn. Or pandas like me. Because we don't really do a lot of stuff on the sexual level. But then again, there's a lot of humans that don't either. So yeah, y'all need to step up y'all's game with that human shit. Because the panda porn ain't doing it for us anymore. Y'all need to like make some intimacy videos on like how to like ask out a girl or something. But yeah, it was probably one of my favorite moments of my entire life, because she was so fucking happy about it. And it showed me that, like, I can be desirable. Now, did I fumble the relationship later on? Yeah. But I was just nervous. It's new experiences for me. I was just green under the gills for it. It was kind of my fault. Should have, like, kind of probably worked on the friendship more. So she would have, like, kind of, like, dug deep into like, hey, like fix your shit so I can kiss you more. And I'm like, well, since you put it that way, I'll do better, I promise. That could have been the end of it, but yeah, kind of flopped. Good 3-month relationship though, because that was probably like my favorite 3 months of my life. Because I asked her out at the end of I think 7th grade, so we went into 8th grade. I was pretty much broken up with because it died out over the summer. And I was supposed to meet her parents, which sucked. Ooh. So it would have gone real far had I just not flopped. But yeah, y'all gotta just be upfront, be honest, not too overwhelming. Like I pissed the bed until 3 years ago, and I'm like 26 now. Hey, that's a secret that stays between you and your mom or whoever the hell cleans your sheets at night. Cause you don't gotta tell her everything right off the bat. That's not too intelligent to do in a bagging relationship thing. You need to show them and convince them why you're worth dating, and also can tell them and very honestly and straight up what's wrong with you. But you need to like counteract the pros and cons. You need to have more pros and cons. You have to sell yourself. Say we're back in the slave days for a minute. It's okay, I'm black and white. I'm a panda. Remember that. Say we're back in the slave days, and they're selling my panda brothers that are all black. You have to convince them why the panda is worth 10 sticks of bamboo. If they're not worth it, they're not gonna get bought, and then they're just gonna sit there in their cage all day, and then they're gonna pass away because you can't afford their food. Because pandas like to eat. So, you have to keep this in mind. You have to make the panda sound better. You have to make yourself sound better than your cons. If the cons are red flags, then you're screwed. So you need to reduce your red flag count, reduce the cons, reduce the negative things about you, and improve the positive things about you. If you refuse to do so, or you can't do so, then improve the positive aspects of it. If you don't do that much, then you might have to start doing more things. Something's going to give. It's going to be you being single, because you're not doing much, or doing too many negative things, or you're going to do a lot of positive things and hardly any negative things by comparison. You need to increase the positive by 10 and have the negative be like less than 5 or 3. Because odds are, the girl's gonna think this guy might be too good for me. That's a good thing to have in a relationship. Only because at some point they're either going to realize, hey, this person treats me special and only shows me this kind of side to them. They're gonna think they're special, and then they're gonna feel better. Same thing vice versa for like guys and girls. Because guys, y'all don't get a lot of love in life, because of how society treats you. So, keep this in mind. If a girl's treating you special, it's probably because she thinks you're special. Or she's using you for some alternative purpose, because you might have a big dick. Or a small dick and she just likes sucking small dicks. I don't know. You think that's not out there, but I've dated a girl who had a preference for smaller dicks. I don't know how she was like that, but she was just like that. She was terrified of some magnum schlongs. And she was definitely terrified of me. She apparently said I was a monster with a horse cock. And I was like, well, I don't know what that means. Because a horse cock's pretty big on its own. So a monster with a horse cock must be like double that. And I don't think I'm quite that big. But it was very flattering. And I still got some sloppy toppy at the end of the night. So it was still a happy day for me. And she still showed me some affection by cuddles. So I got cuddles after that. So I was a happy camper. I was a real happy camper. And yeah, just y'all gotta like keep in mind that like compromise, don't be fake, don't lie. Unless like it's like a white lie about like where your presents are. And also make sure you know a lot about your partner too. Like a lot of people don't keep this in mind that like, oh, she has to learn everything about me. No. Y'all don't need to know each other 100% of the time because some of it's going to be common sense. They're going to learn something about you by wearing like a shirt. So I'm one of the few pandas in the world that like to wear shirts and hats. So I have a Hydra beanie with me today and a really old school show called Hey Arnold. And so some of you who are like probably a couple decades into life, y'all would know exactly what I'm talking about. And to some of the younger folk out there, probably who don't know what the heck that is, it's a really old show about a white and black panda who are very stylish, and they go and do activities together, just really common basic friend stuff. And I don't quite remember the full show, but like, you know, stuff happens, mistakes are made, and they kind of just come together and kind of fix it at the end of the day. But really, moral of the story was just kind of like, if you're gonna make a mistake, kind of fix it. Like, be smart about what you're doing. And as for my Hydra beanie, I kind of wear that just because I kind of like monsters. So I don't know. I think the concept of being a monster would be kind of fun. And yeah. I think every man and woman should just kind of be on their own kind of like mythical creature of mass proportions, just like not letting anything get in their way. Like if you think about like everything in a relationship that can stop you, it'll stop you. But if you really try your absolute best to just become the greatest thing out there, the biggest thing out there, the large of life creature you want to be. Well, I won't even say like become a legend. No. Legends like fall, get hurt. Heroes like sacrifice themselves for other people. Don't do that. Be a monster. Because monsters live for themselves. In certain shows and movies, monsters have partners that are alive for 1,000,000 years. And that's what I would like y'all to go for. That's what I think y'all's relationship should be. Y'all's relationship should be like, this is going to last for 1,000,000 years. So I'm going to treat her like I want her to stay with me for 1,000,000 years. And when she's showing you that same affection, I feel like y'all are going to cry yourselves to sleep while y'all cuddle every night because y'all got to go to work tomorrow and y'all won't see each other for like 2 hours. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it should be like that. I think relationships should be like that. If that's not the case, then there's something wrong with y'all's relationship. It shouldn't be your friends are complaining about your relationship so y'all break up. That shouldn't be a thing. That's why I keep my relationships to myself most of the time. When I do finally get a relationship that I can get locked down and I can show to my friends that they won't probably like tinker with, then I'll probably like work on that when I get there and I feel ready for it. But at the exact same time, it goes two ways. It has to be the relationship so solid that nothing from anyone outside of the two of us will mess it up. Because that's what a lot of people do. They get their mom involved. Some of them are mama's boys, but not really. They get their dad involved because they're a daddy's girl. And that sounds really bad, but I don't really care right now. And then you got people who get their friends involved because the two friends are dating. It's none of your business. Stay the fuck out of it. And then you have like uncles, aunts, family members threatening to kill your boyfriend or your girlfriend because they just really fucking hate them. And same with the grandparents too, because he's like black or something. But I'm a panda, so I'm okay. So you just have situations like that, and I'm just like, first off, you need to like grow some cojones or grow some like massive melons and smack whoever the fuck you need to in the face and tell them, hey, my girlfriend, the ladies, my boyfriend, leave them alone. Like, your partner is your partner. They're special to you. They don't need to be special to anybody else. If they're special to anybody else, then I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but you're gonna have to challenge with that. Truth, fact of the matter is, really and truly, it's just how it is. Like, y'all treat each other special. Y'all need to be like outdoing each other. Y'all need to be active in showing that y'all care for each other. The second y'all don't, there's gonna be someone else who's gonna try and get in that space. Because there are some women out there, and I know a lot of you guys have seen it, and a lot of you guys don't. There's some women that really like going for taking it occupied men. They like taking that They like taking that named car spot because they know it's a good car spot. If they see your name on it, ladies and gents, my pandas and pandettes, I'm telling you right now, they're going to go for your man or your woman. There are just people out there like that. Some guys are like, oh, this guy's puny. He's like pathetic and weak. He's like ugly, yada yada. There's so many flaws in him. I'm jacked and ripped. I'm better than him. You should date me. I have a bigger schlong. They're dating you for a reason. You need to keep reminding them of that reason. Otherwise, then they're gonna leave. So yeah, pandas, pandettes, I think you should do better. Compromise. Don't be fake. Be honest. Straight up, from the get-go. 100 to 100, 50 to 50. I'll even accept 25 for 25 at this point. But y'all gotta give and get the same thing. Compromise. Y'all gotta like not have this whole rivalry of I have to get what I want 24/7, 365. I think y'all should alternate. One week y'all do something that he likes, then she gets something that she likes. Or same day, same activities. She does something, one activity for like a couple hours, then y'all do another activity for a couple hours. If you're not comfortable doing something, vocalize it. And if it's really that serious, then I think you should vocalize that too. And if it's really that serious where you have to break up the relationship, do that too. I think you should try and make it work if you really want to. We'll keep the relationship, but if you really feel like it's that serious where you have to cut it off, then cut it off. I just think that we should really think deeply and very seriously about what we're trying to go for. Because I feel like some of us don't do it enough. Just food for thought. Take a bite, have a snack, sit back and relax. Chomp. Feel free to chomp on an apple if you feel like it. Got anything else to say, homie?
Shoot. Just a couple of pointers. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So, sorry, I thought I was having technical difficulties. I was about to freak the fuck out. But anyways. Okay, so what I was so just to kind of tie everything up, just make sure that y'all have some kind of foundation, you know? Whether it be the Bible, preferably, because that has a lot of good stuff to say about relationships. I mean, it's been around for over 2,000 years. You know, there's a good reason. It's not just because of all the religion. It's not because of wars. It's not just because of the churches and people just passing it down. No, there's a lot of genuine good information in it. So even if you don't really believe in, you know, the world flooding or people crossing the Red Sea because it's split into two, you know, just at least go in there because there's a lot of decent advice in it, you know? And maybe it may not be your thing. Like, maybe you're not the kind of person that thinks women should be submissive. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. You know, at least get something out of it. You know, there's something in it for everyone, literally. But anyways, if it's not that, then go up to your grandparents or go up to a successful couple. What I mean by successful is just that, you know, they have it together, you know, and it's not just for show. It's not just like an Instagram personality. No, like they're for
Yeah,
real.
like one of those elderly couples that are going for a walk in the park.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw one of those when I was with one of my other homies. He was from the military. Yeah.
Yeah, just ask them how they did it. Ask them how it worked, because I mean, obviously, them being old together and they're still
For like
going
so
through
many
it.
years.
Yeah, like they're doing something that's working, and so ask them. You know, I wouldn't ask a homeless man how to become a millionaire. No, I'm gonna ask a millionaire how to become a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not gonna ask a single person how to be a better person in a relationship. No, I'm gonna ask somebody who's in a really good relationship how to be a better partner. You know, it just keeps on going from there. So have a foundation. You know, seek some help. Don't be too prideful to ask for help or seek any kind of advice or aid. You know, all advice is good advice, because even if it's bad advice, you can at least learn what not to do, or you can just learn like what's the opposite of what you should do. But anyways, let's see, what was the final point? Again, just highly emphasize work within. Now, an event happened recently to where it just kind of shook me up to the point to where I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna start working on myself. You know, I'm gonna just really start cutting out a lot of pornography, because that was a really big issue with mine. It's still an issue, but I'm taking baby steps. You know, it's actually working. I'm starting to be less exposed to it. You know, and I'm on the road to eventually cutting it off altogether.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and to people, to our fair listeners, pandas and pandettes, who do like to watch their panda porn, I do understand. I'm that way too. I say do it in moderation. So, I can go a good couple of days really, without watching it, and then there's just this powerful urge that just like puts a collar on me to go watch it. So, at some point, it got to the point where I would watch it, but I'd also be playing video games or something. And as long as I didn't watch it for too long, I wouldn't have the powerful urge to like indulge in like the lustful action. Which, to those of you who can't stop, I'm not saying stop. I'm saying reduce it. Dial it back a bit. Maybe cut it by half. 50%. 50% decrease. See what the energy you would use for it can be used for instead. If anything, blue balls. Blue balls count too. No Nut November, 24/7, 365, all year round. If you can do that, I would love to hear you comment it down. If there's even a comment section for this. And if there isn't, go find a comment section on a different video. Because if my homie knows about it and hears about you surviving a whole year with no nut and you're still alive somehow, then by all means, come into contact with me and I will give you maybe $10. Or maybe $12. $1 for every month you don't nut. And it's probably going to go to the first 2 people because I don't have a lot of money. But maybe when I'm a millionaire, I might make it $240,000. Just because I might be rich and I might feel like it. Because I'm going to be the first panda to go in the ocean. Ooh. And it's going to be fun. Because I'm instead of eating bamboo, I'm going to eat the bamboo fish of the sea. I'm going to find the all black. And I'm going to bite that bitch in the dick. Because that's where pandas are black. But they're really just white with black. Just like pandas. They're black and white, not white and black. There's a difference. There's a big difference. So remember, pandas and pandettes. Make sure you're loving your significant other the right ways. Do some research if you need to. If you feel like you're a brainiac like that. And if not, just pay attention. Start taking notes. Write some shit down. Type it up on your phone. So that's what I've been doing. And it helps me a lot. With my friends, my relationships, I know what to get them for gifts. I know what to do when they're mad. I know what they're sad. And I can just read their body language. I'm actually really good at that, actually. So make sure you're paying attention. If your girl mad or your man mad, don't do nothing. Don't say nothing. Just kind of, I don't know, do something for them and just leave them alone.
Alright, here's Leslie making a cameo. So, hello. I have nothing. My relationships suck. But, if you want to get a good one, make sure you know what you're doing. Alright, that's all I got.
Hey man. Hey man. Okay. Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I'd say this went pretty damn well. What would you say?
I think so too.
I give it a 10 out of 10, the person that hasn't been talking for the past hour.
Alrighty.
I'll make a bigger cameo in the next one.
Alright, so for those of you who are watching on YouTube, don't forget to comment down below of your journey for No Nut Year. For a chance to win at a grand prize of $12. I can't wait to fucking do that. I might throw in 12 pennies for you, just for good luck. Anyways, this is 3 AM Thoughts signing off. With I'll see y'all going to Blackberry Panda.
Yeehaw, yippee-ki-yay, and good night.
Oh yes, good fucking night. Hallelujah.